In the previous recap, Ichirou is a doctor at a medical facility that gets the opportunity to be in charge of his favorite idol's delivery, but unfortunately, he was stabbed by Ai's stalker who was obsessed with her. Luckily, that night, Ichirou and one of his deceased patients who was a fan of Ai are reborn as her twins, Aqua and Ruby. They grow up as a celebrity family, but it's unknown to the public that worldwide sensation Ai is their mother. One day, the same stalker who is pissed that Ai had kids shows up and murders her. After Ai's death, the kids are adopted by her managers, Miyako and Ichigo. Years later, Ruby tries to move on by fulfilling her dreams of being an idol like Ai, which is something she couldn't do in her past life due to her ill health, and finally gets the opportunity now that she had a face to die for. Meanwhile, Aqua continuously interrupts her plans of going global, knowing the reason Ai died and the danger involved with being an idol. With his past memories, he swore to get revenge, find the stalker, and possibly the man who got Ai pregnant, their father. The siblings reunite with Kana, nicknamed the Genius Child Actor, who is shocked to see Aqua enrolling in the School of Performing Arts, despite not wanting to do it. Turns out that he worries about his sister's safety, so he applies to the same school as her. Permission to say, another man down, and cause of loss is revealed to be the sister complex. Although Ruby doesn't seem to like Kana, she has no choice but to be her friend because they will be seeing each other for the whole school year. Later on, Kana stalks him and urges a private chat with him. She's a celebrity and can't go just anywhere. Aqua respects her wish and takes her to director Taishi's studio. Seeing how Taishi still lived off his parents, she recalls she'd been surviving from the money gotten from being a child actor, proving her to be proud in my opinion. Turns out that the purpose of her visit is to invite Aqua for a casting role, and he paid no attention to her request until she mentions the director in charge as Kaburagi. Aqua recalls where he had seen that name during his childhood, in one of Ai's phones after she passed on. The phone's technology dated back several generations that it took him 4 years to crack its security code. Aqua assumed Kaburagi is one of Ai's acquaintances when he saw the contact in her phone, and this turn of events has Aqua jumping on Kana's offer. When Ruby discovers Aqua's new role on the show, she misinterprets his actions as the celebrity ambition their mother wanted for them, unknown to her that he plans to get closer to Kaburagi so he could collect the sample. Turns out that in the show, Aqua is to be featured as a villain at the finale, but after a teaser of it, Ruby and Miyako find the acting a bit thrown off. Later, Aqua calls this fact out to Kana during their next meeting, and she pushes the blame to the producers. After all, she was the best actress they could find for a show targeted to publicize pretty men. Just then, Aqua warns her that saving a show which had lousy acting could be detrimental to her career, but she contradicts him that she began as a fierce child actor which made her lose jobs while she was younger. Overall, she accepted the role because she realized how she treated people mattered more than her skills, and she also believes having him on set could give a better finale to the show. After Kana's words, he sees hope in the hopelessness, and soon, the day for the shooting begins. Aqua experiences the lead actor's rude attitude firsthand, as if his terrible acting wasn't enough. He also gets a cold welcome from Kaburagi, the man he suspects to be his and Ruby's father. Aqua has a hard time playing the role of a stalker, who stalks the female lead, in other words, the villain, because it reminded him of what the stalker did to Ai and how he killed her. They do some rehearsals for a while, and take a break because of the poor weather condition, and Kana doesn't hesitate to compliment Aqua's skill despite being away from the camera for some time. Meanwhile, it seems Kana might be too enthusiastic about the show when Aqua overhears a conversation between Kaburagi and his co-director, where they reveal that nobody cared about Kana's acting skill. All they needed was promotional content for the male features, and a cheap face of a washed-out model to carry it. Also, he finally gets samples from cigarettes and decides to show them his true ability in acting. Regardless, Kana's willing to save what I'd like to call the L show. I mean, the show had been a flop since its release of 4 episodes that had a total combination of a 1-star rating and a disastrous comment section. Yet, Kana had been holding on to it because it was the first lead role she's had in a long time, despite being labeled as the former genius child actor. So, it's basically a washed-up actor trying to save a washed-up show. When shooting begins again, it's time for the most important scene as displayed in the manga. But Kana is thrown off by the lead actor's extremely poor acting style, that you could see the horror on her face as she nearly falls out of character. Just then, Aqua's scene begins and he acknowledges not being as good an actor as I was, hence he had to make use of tools at his disposal, using the right angle of lighting, props, cameras, and even goes as far as spiting the lead actor to produce the right amount of vigor toward the scene. In the end, thanks to Aqua's manipulation of the final scene, the TV show that felt like a punishment to watch soon becomes a hot topic with lots of positive comments, even from the thankful manga author. I mean, her hard work nearly died in the hands of Kaburagi. Later, during the premiere of the show, Kaburagi approaches Aqua to thank him for his appearance when he notices Aqua had some similarities to Ai. First of all, Aqua was grateful the DNA test he secretly ran with Kaburagi's cigarette sample turned out negative. Yet, there's one shocking revelation from Kaburagi about Ai, having secret meetings with a man in restaurants, and he doesn't seem prepared to share this information unless Aqua accepts a reality dating role. Soon, the twins head for their first day of school, and I must say, being in a school where everyone's an entertainer is a lot of pressure. Feels more like showbiz rather than learning, and we all know how dirty showbiz can be. Ruby confidently walks into a class that morning while feeling her beauty is top-notch. That is, until she sights her seatmate, Minami, having massive oranges compared to her orange seeds. Anyway, Ruby introduces her new friend to Aqua, who seems unfazed by the idea of friendship. Also, you know how girls idolize K-pop fans who don't care about their existence? Yeah, that's the same way Ruby idolizes Shiranui, a popular entertainer and her classmate. However, Shiranui recognizes Aqua from the recent TV show, and Minami from the cover of a magazine, but it's unfortunate that Ruby remains unknown. This turn of events has her pleading to Miyako to make her an idol overnight, or else she'd get bullied in school. Miyako responds by reminding her of the difficulties involved in finding cute freelancing girls to create an idol group. Just then, Aqua announces that he has someone to recommend. With Aqua's brilliant suggestion, Ruby has herself wondering if working together with Kana was possible. Kana is in class one day, reading comments from the final episode. While fantasizing about Aqua, a text pops up to meet him outside. You can see the disappointment on her face when she arrives and sees Ruby is present. It's no new story that Ruby and Kana can't stand each other. Finally, Ruby spills the words out of her mouth as if they were hot coal, asking her to join an idol group with her. Kana deliberates on the issue for a while and points out Ruby's capability, potential, and charm that reminded her of Ai, the famous star. However, she understands that being an idol would spoil her chances of getting acting gigs. Hence, her refusal from joining comes with clear reasons and a strong no. Regardless, Kana signs a contract with Strawberry Productions after a persistent plea from Aqua, who read Kana's weak points like a book. Later, the girls get to talk about Aqua's new sign with Kaburagi in a romantic TV show. Yet, it is unknown to them that it's merely a strategy to get close to Kaburagi by pretending to be happy at everything his co-actors threw his way while acting. After casting one day, Sumi reveals to him that she's not interested or a fan of romance. However, she would love it if a kissing scene occurs between the couples at the end of the show. Take a wild guess who's number one in her books. Also, it seems Ruby has taken a liking to Sumi and is rooting for a relationship. Well, not just that, the consequence of being without a job takes a toll on her, and she falls back to Kana's opinion. Kana, the washed-up actor, of course, makes everything worse. Her advice is discouraging despite being in the same predicament as Ruby, also stating that idols must have a track record. Rather than being self-proclaimed, luckily, Miyako is ready to help them by featuring their group in the online world first. Yet Kana doubts what a pretty face with no talent or name will do to become a worldwide sensation. However, Miyako introduces a massive chunk of meat, Peon, a bodybuilding sensational character that brings in 100 million per year to the company. While they do things Peon style, the girls are seen in the next scene doing, being Peon dance puppets, I think. Well, the plan was to pull an audience and they had to start from somewhere, featuring in Peon's stream. At the end of the 1 hour dancing, they reveal themselves in front of the camera and their group name. After the grand opening season of the reality dating show, Sumi's character on TV, where she gives an emotional expression of how she gets teased by the boys in her school, proves to be the catalyst for a new increase in audience engagement. Turns out showbiz does take a toll on a person that they must do anything to remain in the spotlight. Well, not without Ruby pointing out the insane amount of times Aqua had been absent due to spending time with his new colleagues. He calms her down by answering her questions about reality TV shows, where he explains that the reality show involved less fakery than he imagined. Also, putting into consideration the actor's true nature that is put on full display while shooting. The following week, Sumi and Kumano's relationship becomes the center stage attraction for the audience, alongside Kengo, who acts as the third piece in the love triangle. While other stars rise to stardom, Akane, who usually gets less screen time during shows, is in danger of being dropped. With so many bad comments from fans, the producers find her ghost presence concerning and of no impact on the show. Akane is left with no choice but to become something more. Why not become the villain of the love story, she thought, and initiates Operation Steal Kumano's affection. However, Sumi makes her intention known that she's not about to be dropped as a side piece with the upcoming finale of the show. Welcome to the dirty part of showbiz. Yet, Akane's pursuit to fight for her shine in the spotlight has her mistakenly hurting Sumi while the cameras were on roll. Off camera, they settle it with some apology and warm hugs. But the audience don't exactly give Akane an easy time with the comments. There's always something about the comments. And Akane's tweeted apologies seem to rouse them up even more. Weeks and weeks pass, and we get to see what it feels like to fall from fame. Well, not like there was one anyway. But fans came hard for Akane, scouting her previous works for her ghost acting, spreading rumors about her private life, that even in school she was spared from the gossip talks, and they also go as far as giving her death threats. Slowly, she goes silent, and eventually, her co-actors become worried. The day she chooses to end it all by going skydiving from a bridge, Aqua arrives just in time to stop her. Makes me wonder, why does Sumi not come out to clear the rumors? I suspect foul play. Find out what happens next in the next recap. Bye folks!